They say water remembers, but what happens when it remembers something it shouldn't? This story was sent in by someone who wishes to remain anonymous. What happened to them changed how I'll look at swimming pools forever. So dim the lights, plug in your headphones, and whatever you do, don't swim after dark. It all started last summer. I was house sitting for my aunt and uncle while they were on vacation. They lived in this fancy gated community. Big houses, trimmed lawns, and this gorgeous shared swimming pool in the center of the neighborhood. It was quiet. Too quiet. On the third night, I couldn't sleep. The house creaked like it was breathing. Around midnight, I decided to go for a swim to clear my head. I grabbed a towel, slid into the water, and for a moment, it felt perfect. Just me, the stars, and the sound of water gently lapping against the tiles. But then, I heard it. A splash. I turned, expecting to see someone else had jumped in. But the pool was empty. The water rippled. But there was no one there. Maybe I splashed without noticing. Maybe a leaf fell in. I tried to ignore it. But the water felt colder, heavier. Then I felt something brush against my foot. I jerked back and looked down. Nothing. Just water. I was about to get out when I saw it. A shadow at the deep end. It wasn't mine. It wasn't shaped like a person, not exactly. Long arms, thin. It hovered just beneath the surface. I blinked, and it was gone. That's when I noticed the lights in the pool started flickering. Then the lights went out. Panic set in. I swam fast toward the ladder, but it felt like the water was pulling me down, like something wrapped around my ankle. I kicked and screamed. No one was around, no lifeguards, no neighbors, just the water and the thing beneath it. Then I heard the whisper, "Stay with me." That voice. It wasn't in my ears. It was inside my head. It felt ancient, angry. Just as I was about to give up, the lights flickered back on, and the grip loosened. I clawed my way out, coughing, shivering, heart racing. When I looked back, the water was still, calm, like nothing had happened. I never went back to that pool, but a week later, I got curious. I asked the old security guard if anyone had ever drowned there. He looked at me, dead serious, and said, "You mean you didn't know? A girl drowned here 10 years ago. Night swim. Nobody found her till morning." He leaned in closer. Thing is, people say they still hear her, crying, dragging people under. It's why we closed the pool at 10 sharp. I didn't say a word, just nodded and walked away. But sometimes I still dream about that night, about the grip, the whisper, the shadow in the deep end, and I wonder, what would have happened if I didn't get out in time? Water can soothe you, or it can swallow you whole. So next time you go for a late night swim, check the shadows, because something might be waiting to pull you under. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this tale, subscribe to Cursed Realms for more real horror stories. And remember, some things are better left in the deep.
If that one didn't keep you out of the water, this next story just might, because some pools are haunted not by what died there, but by who stayed behind. Back in college, I worked as a lifeguard at a public pool in a small town. It was a decent gig, long hours, but easy money. Except there was one rule we all had to follow. Never close alone. We were supposed to lock up in pairs, always, even if someone had to wait an extra hour for a second guard to finish their shift. I didn't understand why, until the night I broke the rule. It was a stormy Tuesday. My coworker called in sick, and the supervisor was running late. I didn't want to stay longer, so I decided to close alone. The place was deserted. No kids, no families, just dim buzzing lights reflecting off the water. I turned off the pumps, did a final walk around, and that's when I saw someone. A figure standing at the far end of the pool, tall, wearing the old lifeguard uniform, but we'd changed those last year. I called out, "Pool's closed." No response. I walked closer, and the figure dove in. No splash, no sound, just vanished beneath the surface. I ran to the edge, ready to jump in, but the water was clear. No ripples, no one there. Then I heard it, a tweet, a whistle, the kind we used to wear on shift, but mine was in the locker, and it came again. Closer. I turned, and the figure was behind me now, standing at the shallow end. His eyes were pale, foggy, skin swollen, like he'd been underwater far too long. Then he whispered, "You left your post." He stepped forward. I backed away and nearly slipped. The air felt like it thickened, like the chlorine turned to smoke. Then the lights flickered, and he was gone. I didn't tell anyone. Who would believe me? But later that week, I overheard one of the older guards talking to a rookie. He said, "They don't tell the new guys, but 10 years ago, a lifeguard drowned in that pool. Alone. No one noticed till the next morning. Now, he watches the closers, makes sure no one leaves early like they left him. And then I understood the rule. Never close alone. Because if you do, he might decide it's your turn to stay. So next time you see a lifeguard, look closer. Make sure they're breathing. Because some ghosts don't haunt for revenge, they haunt for routine. Thank you for joining us in the Cursed Realms. If you're brave enough, hit that subscribe button, because there are more horrors waiting to surface. Until next time, stay dry.